Substance abuse and alcoholism has become a very touchy subject in our society, and more so in Christian circles. Talking about alcohol and alcoholism is somewhat a thorn in the flesh. However, it's always good to look at various perspectives, especially from the Bible, so that we can figure it out and see where the problem is. So let us start by looking at the numbers. The World Health Organization estimates that alcohol consumption is responsible for millions of deaths each year. In 2019, approximately 2.6 million deaths were attributed to alcohol. Also, alcohol is a causal factor in over 200 diseases and injury conditions. It accounts for a significant portion of global burden of diseases and injury as measured in disability-adjusted life years, DALYs. In terms of regional differences, the European and African regions have some of the highest numbers in alcohol-related deaths. Low-income countries often have a higher rate of alcohol-related deaths and disabilities for the same amount of alcohol consumed compared to high-income countries. And that is very good to note. Going back to the Bible, it says that the body is indeed God's temple. And looking at some of the top verses on alcohol-related issues, we have Proverbs 21, which says, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray is not wise." The book of Ephesians 5:18, "Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit." 1 Corinthians 6:19, "Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You are bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies." Indeed, the Bible has a lot to say about alcohol, and we are going to look at more verses in a bit. Romans 14:21. "It is better not to eat meat or drink wine or to do anything else that will cause your brother or sister to fall." In other versions, it says to stumble. Don't cause your sister or brother to stumble. Galatians 5:19, "The acts of the flesh are obvious: sexual immorality, impurity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, dissension, factions of envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. I warn you, as I did before, that whoever who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God." But having said all this, didn't Jesus turn water into wine in the book of John 14? So let us get a few answers.
Even if there were 2 or 3 guests at the wedding that had problems controlling their drinking and were prone to drinking too much alcohol at times, or even worse, alcoholics, Jesus would have caused them to stumble by turning water into alcoholic wine. So what's an alternative explanation? It wasn't alcoholic wine that Jesus turned the water into. It must have been grape juice. The word wine in the Bible is used to refer to the fruit of the vine, both in its non-alcoholic state, better known as grape juice, and its alcoholic state, better known as wine. Oftentimes, but not always, grape juice is referred to as new wine in the Bible. One example of this is Isaiah chapter 65, verse 8, which says, "As the new wine is found in the cluster, and one says, 'Do not destroy it, for a blessing is in it,' so will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all." This verse calls the juice that you find in a cluster of grapes, which is grape juice, new wine. Another example of new wine referring to grape juice is Matthew chapter 9, verse 17. There Jesus said, "Nor do they put new wine into old wineskins, or else the wineskins break, the wine is spilled, and the wineskins are ruined. But they put new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved." Wineskins were made from the skins of animals, and when they were new, they were flexible and stretchy, but as they aged, they became hard and brittle. It was not safe to pour new wine, in other words, grape juice, into old, hard, and brittle wineskins, because the new wine, not being fermented yet, would start to ferment in the old wineskins and produce gases that would cause them to break and spill the juice inside of them. In an attempt to try to prove that Jesus turned water into alcoholic wine, some people point to John chapter 2, verse 10, where the master of the feast said, "You have kept the good wine until now." In our culture, people consider the alcoholic variety of wine the good stuff, but Jesus' time and culture was different than ours. First of all, back in Jesus' day, alcoholic wine was abundant all year long. It was easy to get alcoholic wine back then because grape juice ferments by itself. The problem they had was keeping it from fermenting. They couldn't just go to their local corner shop and pick up a bottle of fresh grape juice whenever they wanted to because they didn't have the technology to keep grape juice from fermenting like we do, like preservatives and refrigeration. Instead, they did things like boil fresh grape juice to create a syrup that didn't ferment easily, and later they reconstituted it with water. It was also common to dilute wine with water. This was usually done at around a 3-to-1 ratio and even up to a 20-to-1 ratio in some cases. They did this not only to keep themselves from getting drunk, but this was also done to purify their drinking water. Because the drinking water in the Roman Empire wasn't as safe as the drinking water today, so they added some wine to it so the alcohol could kill the germs in it. Also, it gave their water a better taste because the water in some environments was notoriously foul. People in the Roman Empire apparently also had a way to filter alcohol out of wine. I came across a quote by Pliny the Elder, who was a Roman author and naval commander, who wrote that wine with the strength reduced by the filter was the most suitable drink for all men. That being said, fresh grape juice was not as abundant as reconstituted grape juice or watered down wine because they were only able to get fresh grape juice during the harvest, which lasted from June to September. So they may have been drinking some other form of lower quality grape juice at the wedding at Cana, and then when Jesus turned the water into fresh grape juice.
So there you have it. During the times of Jesus, grape wine juice was also known as new wine or wine. So it is very possible that Jesus turned water into grape juice, which was also known as wine or new wine. So that's a very interesting thing to note. So if you like this information, please take time to like and comment below. If you have not connected with me yet, please take a few minutes to subscribe to this channel because you'll be helping this channel reach more people by your subscription. So my name is Emma Mary Wanjiko, here with Fuel for Your Faith devotional. This is the kind of content that I create. So as we continue with this topic of alcoholism, this lady over here is called Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, the wife of the former deputy president of Kenya, and she has been very passionate about this cause of alcoholism and fighting against it. And this is what she had to say at a workshop.
Because their mind is not functioning properly, and most of them are in addiction and now sick. They defile girls, and they are behind bars. Thousands and thousands are there. Young men who are supposed to be productive for this nation. And you know what they are doing there? They are just locked inside. Some with sentences of 40 years. If you are 20 plus 40, you come out when you are 60. You have no life. It's finished. Under 70. So you come out if you are 90, God willing. And when we are talking about alcohol and substance abuse, this is a very serious matter we are discussing. It's a crisis. And that is why I'm happy with the Karatina University for opening that crisis response center. That one I've been struggling to know. When somebody is having a crisis, somebody wants to talk to someone, how can they be able to get that counselor? How can they be able to get that friend? And I'm sure we should be putting that number so that anyone, even if you know it's a friend, instead of them killing and committing suicide, let them call that number and you'll be saved. So we are coming and informing you because knowledge is power. Say knowledge is power. Knowledge. When you have knowledge and you are well informed, sometimes you have always heard about drinking and fun. Many of you'll be told drinking is fun. Let me tell you, those people who are getting drunk, those who are getting addiction, it is not a special kind. Nancy, you have seen them. We have policemen who are drunk, who we have rehabilitated. Even Father will tell you, even in a clergy space, we also have it. Some who are getting addicted. So we have crisis in our hands. Those people who are poor, they are drinking. Those who are rich are drinking. Those who are religious are drinking. The white are drinking. The black are drinking. Every profession has its own problems. Even doctors are drinking. And I can tell you, we lost a brother who was a doctor in South Africa. You have heard my husband talking about it. A great surgeon. He died in South Africa. We buried him here. In fact, I had to go there and I saw him struggling until he died. I watched him die. He was a doctor. He was in addiction. He died. He left young children. We are still taking care of them. So this topic we are discussing here, it is timely, and actually we have just come at the right time because the generation was about to be wiped out. It is you who can be able to change the course. Say we will change the course. Because the choice of life and death is made by an individual. If you choose to go that way, the consequences are so dire. Can you imagine the other time when we were in the Nairobi University? Many had committed suicide. And many of us, they were in drug and addiction. You have worked so hard from primary school, secondary school. Then you come to the university. When your parents and the whole community and the nation is waiting to see you manifest, you are brought in a casket. And you can imagine the pain of a mother, the pain of the family, the pain of a father, the pain of the community that has to add more money to bury gold. Because us in the African setup, the gold mines are yourselves. We invest in our children. We invest in you. We sell everything so that you can get education, which is an equalizer. We give you an inheritance. So when you are in school, I urge you, please, don't go into drugs. Don't drink alcohol. And if you see your brother or your sister, be your brother's keeper. Say, I'll be my brother's keeper.
And indeed, let us be our brothers and sisters' keepers, because this is the will of God for us. So thank you so much for watching this video. I love you so much. I pray that you are whole and well.